Who's up?
I'm up.
Smoke.
2 top 10s coming at you.
2.
Growing up on the water with fishing in their blood, Matt Arey and Bryan Thrift have spent the last 10 years competing against the biggest names in professional bass fishing. Their success has landed them ranked among the top anglers in the world. If you're looking to become a better angler, then this show has all the answers. Join us and follow along to get actionable tips, tactics, and tried and true techniques directly from the pros. Welcome to Let's Talk Fish.
We hot.
We're
We're
back.
live.
We hot.
We are back.
All right. Yep.
Good week. We had a good week, Matt.
It was a good week.
Very good
It's
week.
been 3 weeks.
It's been a minute.
It's been 3
At
weeks
least
since we
But
had a
last
show.
week was a good week.
Where were you the other 2 weeks? Because the reason we didn't have a show because you were absent.
Beach.
Yeah, one week I was at the beach,
That's right.
and the next week I was leaving the day of the show.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct.
That's right. I gotta
Um,
get my ears just to check sound since we got
Okay. All right. We'll be right here, Jeff, if you need us. All right, real quick. So let's don't forget we do have a giveaway at the end of the show tonight.
What are we giving away, Matt?
We're giving away an Angler's Choice T-shirt and hat combination.
And we're giving away Matt's head.
Huh?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that'd be easy to ship. Have at it.
That's a joke.
I'll let Brian sign it.
I'm keeping that for me.
I'm going to tape that to my passenger seat to ride shotgun.
You-
with me.
Better buckle it
So it'll
in.
be like a team tournament at Moss. I have
yeah,
Matt with me.
yeah. All right, so couple good tournaments for both of us. Coming off a couple good finishes. Real quick, don't forget at the end of the show we have our trivia giveaway. Like I just mentioned, we got a great question for tonight, and I'm not going to give it away. I do know the answer to the question. It's two answers. One question, 2 answers.
One question.
Correct.
I'm confused. I hope y'all are confused because I'm confused.
So, real quick, I do want to say, guys, a quick little mention here for a couple prayer requests, and one is obviously Mr. Aaron Martins. He needs our prayers. Obviously everybody knows it's in the fishing industry. Aaron's going through a tough time, but keep Aaron and his family in your prayers. They're still selling T-shirts, I do believe, too,
Yes.
on the link. Was it Huckleberry?
Yeah,
Huck-
Huckleberry.
It's on our
Huckleberry
group
clothing.
page and the LTF page.
On the group page and the LTF page. Okay, cool. They're still selling T-shirts to raise money, and I think they've raised like $20,000.
Yeah,
or
it's
something so far.
been a good
awesome.
response, and thank you to everybody that's been a part of that. It's so great to see the fishing community come together when somebody's in a time of need, and it was awesome. I went back and watched some of the live footage from the MLF at Tahoe last week, yesterday, and they had Aaron on there talking about stuff, and it was awesome to hear him out there and just let him. He's still being a part of it, even though he's not there physically. So that's a very positive.
And yeah, very cool. And I got a message today on the LTF Facebook page. It was from a guy who's a coach here at Franklin High School in Western North Carolina, and there was a boy there, by the name of Devin Blackburn, who was in a really bad car accident. He's an athlete there, and he just needs some prayers. So everybody keep Devin in your prayers also. Devin and Aaron, those are the two that are kind of on our prayer list tonight. But keep those guys in your thoughts. Devin's got a long road ahead of him, and from what I understand, he was lucky to just survive that accident. But hopefully he'll keep going on the up and up. But keep those guys in your thoughts and prayers. All right. So on to you want to start? You want to start with Lake Tahoe? Talk about Tahoe and
Yeah,
kind of how
we
it
can
played
start
out
about that.
because that was an interesting. Oh, by the way, I got to say that the Mark Rose video was probably one of the greatest videos. I was so impressed.
What video?
Have you not seen Rose's video where he jumped in and got that?
Oh, yeah.
Jumped in.
He
He didn't
jumped.
even hesitate.
He
he's
jumped.
Gone.
Well, I mean, he's thinking in his mind now because they were paying a daily big bass and it got bigger every day. So that was the $50,000 day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's not sure. I mean, he knows it's a good one, obviously, but he's not sure if this is a 3-pounder or a 10-pounder because it's hung up in the grass. Grass, right? It's hung up in the
Yeah,
grass.
I think it was high drill as well.
I don't know if he's fishing brush piles or grass, but anyway, that being said, what was so impressive is Rose we texted him later and said, "Man, that's a heck of a move, Michael Phelps." he jumps in.
Like,
and
didn't even bob up. Like, he's
never
gone.
came up.
Yeah,
Gone.
And he's
back up with a
gone.
fish.
And I'm sitting there thinking, man, I wonder if the cameraman or the judge on the boat was thinking if he's dude's down there drowning or what's going on. And he never surfaced. And when he did, I was like, oh, he just came up for air. No, he already had the bass in hand, threw it in the boat, took
He had to because he's running out of time.
Yeah, he only
Oh,
had
that's
a couple
right. That's
seconds
right.
left
Like,
in the period.
That's,
Like,
15
that's what
seconds when
triggered
he-
him to
yeah,
jump in.
Like, he had to have the fish over the gunnel in like
So
10
he took
or 15 seconds.
correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but he took a 5-minute penalty, right?
Right.
So 3 for leaving the boat,
Yeah.
2 for the fish
Fish
hitting the
landing.
carpet because he had to toss it
Yeah.
in, and then it was a 3-pounder, which didn't win big bass, obviously, but it was a valuable fish.
Right,
to him.
it was a valuable
Yeah.
fish.
So that was pretty impressive. Shout out to
Yeah, that
Mark
that was
Rose,
pretty
aka
nice.
Michael
And
Phelps,
he says it was the final day, $100,000.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
it
100
was the
grand.
final day.
and Mr. Jordan Lee. Congrats to Jordan who won the
Yes.
event. He picked up a cool couple $100,000 plus an extra $50K bonus.
That big
The last
the
day?
big bass payout,
No, he got
It's
he won
ridiculous.
200 the last day.
200.
100 for a big bass, 100 for the win.
Yeah.
So he didn't get a okay. So
But
but
Michael Neal actually beat Jordan by 1 ounce on the.
that's
the
what it
elimination
was.
round
So
for
he
50
almost
grand.
he almost hit
He was 1 ounce from 250 grand
Oh, the
1 ounce
knockout-
from 250 grand.
For when? For what?
for the knockout round.
They paid
Oh,
a big
yeah.
bass during the knockout round.
It's 25, 25, 50, and 100.
Yep.
Yeah. So
It's pretty strong
Jordan
for a fish.
Pretty
Jordan
stout.
almost picked
Pretty
up
stout.
250 with 150 of that being off of 2 bites.
And 1 ounce away from 50,000.
Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So $200,000 to Mr. Lee there, and I was picking on Wheeler. I said Wheeler had a good finish, and he said he finished. What did he finish? 9th, I think.
9th or 10th.
Yeah, 9th. It was below you, and I was rubbing that in his face. So either way, me and Wheeler and I are
It's
buddies.
like, I'm not sure. Somewhere down there.
and Wheeler said,
Somewhere down there.
I said, Wheeler, you got $7,500 for 9th, and just think, you were only like $193,000 from first. I've never seen a payout gap like that, dude. It was like,
Yeah.
and you got 40 grand, right?
Yeah,
So
40
you
for
got a
second.
killer paycheck for
But
second.
that's the way that tournament's set up, and it's actually going to be an event that's going to be an every year thing. As far as I know they've already planned on next year having a heavy hitters event. It's not going to be a full field event like it was this year. The only reason it became a full field was because of everything with the pandemic,
The
or
COVID
whatever,
deal.
COVID deal. So,
Yeah, I'm
next
glad-
year it's going to be, I think, the 40 guys with the heaviest 5.
Was it 40 or 30?
Well, this year was supposed to be 30, but
Okay.
next year they're going with 40.
Okay, all right. So half the field basically will get an invite to that event,
Right.
And I'm glad you explained that because I actually had a couple people ask me why is the full field fishing that because it's not supposed to be full
it was
field.
because of the COVID thing, so they just kind of made this a points event, so it'll be like a regular season event, but kept the heavy hitters payout. And then for next year's heavy hitters event, to my understanding, the qualification process is your biggest fish from each of the 5 events this year will be added to a cumulative 5 fish total, and the top 40 guys with the highest 5 fish total from 1 fish through each event will make the heavy hitters for next year.
Can you write all that down for me?
It's pretty simple. So every tournament, your biggest bass
Goes in the
at
pot.
each event, it goes into your 5 fish creel. So you get 1 bass from
Per tournament.
1 bass at Eufaula, 1 bass at Okeechobee, 1 bass at Fork, 1 bass at Tahoe, and 1 bass.
So
wherever we go next.
ultimately, a guy that makes it to all the way to the final round has a better opportunity to make a bigger 5 fish limit because he gets to spend more time
gets
in the
more
water.
shot.
Right,
Because
exactly.
you can get a fish from any day that you fish, right? Okay.
Exactly.
More
All right.
catches, more opportunity.
Which is fair because
Yeah,
that's
which is
deserving.
fair
if you
because,
make it
and
further.
that's why they call it heavy hitters, because the guys that are making top 10s have the opportunity to catch heavier fish, more opportunity to catch a bigger fish than people that not. So it's kind of like just the guys that are doing the best should theoretically have the highest weight.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. 100%. All right, so talk about Tahoe a little bit because that was none of us. I haven't ever been there this time of year. I don't think you have.
I hadn't either.
So-
I like it a lot
so-
better than in spring.
If you have any questions for Brian, I'll follow the feed. I'll shoot the questions over to Brian about Lake Tahoe this time of year. But I'm gonna let Brian kind of take off from getting down there practicing and how you approached it, because it being a later in the year event
Right.
in Florida that you and I are both not huge fans of. You're probably starting to become more of a fan.
I
of
like Florida in June. Don't like it so much in February and March. But
All right.
June's good.
it. Well, I have to take a wild stab and say that's because you get to use your electronics a little bit more.
Yeah, well, that, and it's just the fish aren't centered around the spawn, because I think that's my trouble in the spring. And hear me out and see if you agree with this, Matt. So in the springtime,
I don't agree. Oh, what? Okay, go
when
ahead.
the fish are focused around spawning, it seems like all the fish are in a couple of places. So you've got to cover water, you got to fish through everything that looks great, and then you get to a 100-yard stretch that looks identical to the 3 miles you just fished and didn't get a bite. And oh, look, there they are. Look, got lucky and found them. Is that not the way you think?
Somewhat, but normally when we go there, though, it is focused around the spawn, but you do have groups of fish that are in all stages. So I mean, Okeechobee is a little different because basically it congregates everybody in the same areas every time we go there. It seems like we get in small areas.
Right.
Maybe if the lake conditions or the water conditions were good, you could go down there this time of year and get like offshore, like actually out in the lake and catch them.
Yeah, that would
which would be cool. Yeah. But Tahoe and Kissimmee, it seems to be pretty good at spreading the field out, regardless of what time of year we're there. But with y'all, I mean, you had 80 boats, so similar to our field. How did it spread y'all out? How were y'all broken down?
Oh, it was actually broken down perfectly, I think. I mean, we had, obviously 4 lakes, and you've got 80 guys fishing it. And I mean, you've got guys fishing offshore hydrilla, guys fishing up creeks like Skeet and Zach Burge were doing. You've got guys flipping grass, throwing frogs, throwing spinnerbaits, throwing rattle traps. I mean, pretty much everything was in play in Florida in June versus when you go in spring and you've either got to be throwing a swim jig and a chatterbait, or you've got to be flipping. That's about your only 2 options.
Yeah, I would like to go this time of year.
It was fun. I mean, just from the aspect of fish biting. I mean, when you go, like I've been there in the spring and a cold front hits, and you struggle to get 6 bites a day.
Yeah,
then
that's the worst factor
In
about
June,
that time of
like
year.
just get bites everywhere pretty much. I mean, it was fun. But the way I approached the Tahoe event was from the mind frame of, obviously, I'm going to start out, I'm going to look for some type of shad spawn, some type of bite that may be going up shallow. So I did that every day, first 2 days of practice for a couple hours each morning, and never found anything to my liking. And then the second day of practice, I just kind of started looking around in Tahoe and the offshore hydrilla and started getting a few bites here and there. And it finally got dialed down to where I could actually pinpoint my exact cast. Like there was, on the south end of Tahoe, there was a lot of clumpy hydrilla. So you would have, it wasn't just a huge field of hydrilla. You had little clumps like spread out at just maybe 15, 20 feet apart, something like that. And I was running a lot of stuff like that, just something where I had, one specific target I could cast to, like one clump of hydrilla. I did have a couple of brush piles I caught fish out of, and I'd say probably 75% of my bites were out of hydrilla and 25% was brush. So it was a fun event from that, because I kind of approached it just like I would Eufaula, which is my favorite lake, where Matt just made a top 10 on. And it's
I'm glad you said brush, because somebody just asked that. Were you fishing any brush piles there?
Yeah. So I would start out, and I kind of had a 3-prong approach as to how I was fishing these little isolated grass clumps and stuff on Tahoe. I was throwing a 1/2-ounce swim jig, and I was throwing a Demiki BTC 60 square bill crankbait and a 11-inch Demiki Mega Mickey worm. And I would usually start out I would make my first couple of casts with a swim jig to try to get any bites from fish that were maybe sitting on top of the grass or suspended around it or something like that. I would make 3 or 4 casts with that, and if I didn't get bit, I would pick up the worm and drag through there. And that Demiki Mega Mickey worm probably caught 80% of the fish that I caught throughout the 4 days of the event. And then after that, I would bang a crankbait off of it to try to get a reaction strike from anything that didn't really want to bite. And that was kind of my three-prong approach to the way I attacked all that structure at Tahoe. And it seemed to work pretty good, but it was fun following the fish throughout the day because they would change every day, and at different times of the day they would bite a different bait. That's why I had to throw all three baits on every place I fished, because like early in the morning I couldn't get them to bite the swim jig, hardly couldn't get them to bite the worm, but you'd get one to react to the crankbait. And then as the day progressed, I would catch one on the swim jig on the first cast and then not get any more bites, and then I could drag a worm through there and catch 4 or 5 more, and then they would quit biting the crankbait. So just every day, and it seemed like every hour, it changed as to what particular presentation they wanted. But I had 3 going, and it seemed like they wanted one of the 3 at all times. So that was pretty good.
We had a couple questions. Oh, Scott Fell said we get to 300 viewers and Smoke gives away 4 packs of the new Demiki worm.
I cannot do that, Scott. I'm
sorry, Scott.
This worm it's a pretty cool worm. It's an 11-inch straight tail worm. It's got a kind of a thick head, and then it tapers down to a thin section, and then it got a little bit thicker tail on it. But it's a very good straight tail worm, and Demiki actually sold it for a good while. I think they took it off the market a couple years ago, but it's going to come back this year, probably in the late summer, early fall, maybe spring of next year. But it'll be coming out again very soon. I was actually talking with Daniel at Demiki today about the colors, and probably going to do somewhere 6 or 8 different colors in it. But it's a very good worm, and it's one I've used a lot over the last 10 years that I don't really talk about it a whole lot, because it's not that it's a secret or anything like that. It's just, it seems like it gets overshadowed by smaller baits. I mean, the time to use a big worm isn't as prevalent as the time to use a smaller, 5 to 6 inch worm. So, but now we're getting into that summertime, that ledge bite offshore fishing. That's where that Demiki Mega Miki is really going to shine. And I'm looking forward to getting a chick next week and throwing it out there.
That's right. Y'all got chick coming up. And, the McKinneys want to know if you miss Rob Dye's cooking.
I do miss Robbie Dye's cooking. I really do.
He's a cook, isn't he? He
is a cook. He fries a lot of stuff. I mean, so that's just what Robbie does.
Somebody was asking, I think we talked about this the last show we had, which I know it's been a couple weeks, but they were asking about the Jeremy Conkright wanted to know about the MLF guys that are fishing the FLW, which Brian is included in that, and the way the points is going to work for the FLW guys. So the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, is any MLF guy that's fishing the FLW tour level events, the super tournaments they're calling them, they are not eligible to get any of the points. So if Dylan Hayes, a buddy of mine, finishes 22nd and Bryan Thrift finishes 21st, Dylan Hayes gets the 21st place points.
Yeah, the way I've understood it is the MLF guys will receive no points. So say FLW guy wins, he gets however many points, 200 points, and then a MLF guy finishes second. That it's like he wasn't even there other than the paycheck. So if the third place guy is a FLW guy, he'll get the points for second place, I think. That way the MLF guys have no bearings on the outcome of points, as far as taking up a place in the points. So it'll just skip over us and proceed with the next place for the FLW.
Correct. Bryant Clary, 2 questions for you, Brian, about Tahoe.
All right.
Could you see the fish on your graph, and how deep were you fishing?
I could see some of the fish I was fishing. Some of the clumps of hydrilla, I could see them setting around, especially if they were suspended up off the bottom a couple of feet. And I was targeting 6 to 7 foot range, just kind of out in the middle of the lake. I mean, it was as far out in the middle of the lake as you could get. And
which is about an average depth for that place, I guess.
Well,
5, 6 foot.
I think the water was down a little bit, because I remember last year when I was there, I was fishing a place that was like 9.5 feet deep, and I went back. That's the first place I went this year in practice, because I caught them there last year in the FLW event, and it was like 9.5 feet, and I went to it to go idle over it and see if the grass was still there, and it was only like 5 3/4, 6 feet deep. I was like, man, I could have. I know it was 9 feet deep out here last year.
So it was down.
I don't know if that's normal summer height or what.
Andy said that's great, Thrift. So what were the other 22 rods for?
You got to have
decoys.
You got to have options. You have to have options. And see, options come into play occasionally.
Did you mention what color your worm was, by the way?
It was plum.
Plum
Worm with a 1/4 ounce weight, and I was throwing it on 15-pound P-line tactical fluorocarbon, and a Fitzgerald 7-foot stunner heavy rod, and a Revo STX 7:3 gear ratio reel.
I just got a message from Mr. Swin, the owner of Shiner Stash Beef Jerky. So
More jerky?
Included in our giveaway
More
tonight.
jerky.
Included in our giveaway tonight is not only an Angler's Choice T-shirt and hat, but we've got some new products that actually Swin just sent me a sample of, and y'all trip out because of the name of it. But it's if anybody likes the old Penrose pickled sausages.
Oh yeah, everybody
All right.
likes those.
So you got to get with Swin, get him to send you a jar of these.
I'm out anyway.
He sent me a jar. You hear that, Swin? If you're watching, Thrift's out of jerky. He needs some more jerky.
The whole stash.
They're called Swinny's Nubs, and I love the name. But it's a jar of pickled sausages with his own special blend of seasonings and vinegar and stuff. And so, dude, they are awesome.
I'm gonna have to call
Awesome.
a timeout
Why?
because that's my favorite.
Oh,
I need some.
all right. Well,
So,
Swin's
everybody
listening.
needs
Swin's
some.
watching.
One more, please.
One more. Yeah, we'll just have to get him to start sending us some goodies to the studio here so we can just partake while we're
Yeah,
could be eating
like
one
it
right
would
now.
be nice to have one of those right now.
That's right.
really would.
I guess I could have brought my jar, but they're too good
Exactly.
to share. They're too good to
You
share.
see, he's holding out on us. Jeff's favorite food, and you won't even share.
We could be
with
eating them right now.
him. Exactly.
On
right
Somebody
now.
did ask earlier,
now.
Jeff, if you plan to fish any tournaments soon.
Freshwater or saltwater?
Tournaments, period.
Maybe. Probably not freshwater.
Probably not freshwater.
Not unless it's like a team tournament. Or
Jeff
something.
went red fishing this past weekend, and
Thursday, Wednesday,
let me give a shout out to
Thursday.
Let me give a shout out to my buddy, my boy Bruce. I know this is a bass fishing show, but my buddy Bruce Gallup, a friend of Jeff's also, just won the IFA down in where was it? Was it out of Charleston?
Georgetown.
Was it out of Georgetown, and picked him up a brand new Ranger, 180, 90, something like
I think
that.
it's RB 188, I believe.
Oh
they
yeah,
call it.
okay,
Something
all right.
like that.
Yep, picked him up a brand new boat for winning the IFA. So congrats to those boys. I'm not sure who Bruce's partner was. Forgive me for that.
Jack Smith.
Jack Smith. Congrats to Bruce and Jack. Congrats
I
to them
agree,
on their win.
David. LTF needs to be in the Big Rock next year.
Let's do it.
What? What are we gonna do?
We
Charter
got to
a
get
boat?
a boat.
We're gonna charter
We need
a
a
boat.
boat. We need a boat.
Oh, I know a guy
We need a big
who
boat.
just got a 42-foot Freeman with 4 300s on the back, called the
Perfect.
Vice Versa Fishing.
There you go.
Scott's not
Reckon he would
listening.
drive it up.
Probably cost a pretty penny, but yeah, we need
He's
to hit
got
up.
it.
We need to hit up Scott, man, and get him to bring up the Vice Versa and enter the Big Rock next year. I mean, if we win it, it's like $1 million, isn't it?
I don't know.
Isn't first place in the Big Rock like 800,000? Big Rock, if anybody's wondering, is like the largest billfish marlin tournament on the East Coast every year. And I don't know if it's the largest based on field, but I think
Yeah, I
it's the
think it's
largest payout.
Blue Marlin. It's one of the
Blue
biggest.
Marlin.
Yeah, there's a White Marlin Open in Maryland that's real big. I think it's
As far as
actually
blue
the
marlin.
biggest. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks for specifying that.
Emily said she wants to fish the Big Rock.
My wife, Emily?
That's what it says.
I want
right
in on
here.
the Big Rock. I hear you,
Mark
darling.
Gallup says they got the boat.
We got.
Hey.
Oh, that's right.
We got a team.
All right, we got a team.
We got a team.
LTF might just sponsor an entry into the Big Rock next year. The problem is, there's the catch is going to be the date. If Thrift and I can make it work.
Second place won over $1 million. You still worried about the date?
For real? We might
We
just
just
skip. We
cleared
might
the
just skip a
schedule.
tour tournament to go fish the Big Rock.
That's how you clear a fishing
Where's
schedule.
Thrift?
I'm,
and Matt.
I'm skipping a tournament this year to fish the White Marlin Open.
Seriously?
Yes.
What tournament?
The Mississippi River,
MLF would?
the FLW.
Oh, the Super
Are you being
tournament. I
serious
got you.
right now?
Well, that's not a points tournament.
So you were
That's-
holding out
that's
this
not
whole time?
Wait a minute.
He was holding out this whole time until we said something about skipping a tournament, and then he spills the beans.
That's not a points tournament for him though. So
That's not the point. The point is he knew he was skipping it for the last 5 minutes, and we've been talking about it and he didn't mention it
talked about that.
until we brought up skipping.
It's 27,500 to enter everything. Mark said, "Oh, that's pocket change to a
change,
Walsh, man.
Yeah, Jeff's got that.
We're in. We're doing it.
Yeah. All right. So, anything you want to add? Obviously, you had a phenomenal finish with second place finish, and the tournament overall was a good tournament. There's a lot of big fish caught. There was never a double digit fish caught, was there?
No, I think Mark's 9-pounder was the biggest one for the whole event, but there was a lot of big fish caught. I mean, a lot of fish over 7, and shoot, everybody in the field had a couple over 5. It seemed like. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, if you look at the last day alone, I don't know. I think Jordan would have had right at 30 pounds with 5 biggest. I had almost 28 with my 5 biggest on the 4th day. So it really showed out. I mean, a lot of big fish were caught, and they were caught all over the lake. I mean, there were giants caught in Cypress, Kissimmee, just everywhere. So it was fun.
So $27,500 to enter everything. That's the Calcutta and everything. The Calcutta, my dad just chimed in. He's fished a big rock before, but the Calcutta, he said, can be worth $500,000 on top of the winning money.
Yeah, but that's extra on top of the 27.
No, now Mark said 27.5 to enter everything. So I bet we could drum up a few sponsors.
Always extra, bro.
Man, we could drum up a few sponsors. Look, we got a year to work on this. We got a brand new 34-foot yellowfin that one of the Gallup boys, Clay, I believe, has got 34-footer, right?
And we got Scott's 42 Freeman. We'll just go 2 teams.
And
2 teams.
We're gonna need Clay because he owns the boat. But I guess Walsh and Arey and Thrift and Clay. Sorry, Mark and Bruce, but y'all might have to. No, I'm just kidding. Man, that'd be awesome.
I did see. I got a
we'll
video.
Have to include
you'll have
Emily.
to remind me to show you after the show of the guys. I think they had the winning marlin on in the big rock and then broke it off.
Oh no, yeah, because a 4-something won it, right?
A lot of foul language. But
is that who you fishing?
Oh,
with?
you have a video of it?
Yeah, yeah.
A 4-something won it this year,
yeah,
right? Which is relatively.
They had like a 800 or 900 on.
Yeah, dude. Normally, it takes usually like a 600 or 700 plus to win it. If it's calm seas and everybody gets to go out every day.
Let's see.
Mike says she'll put up the first 100. So could we actually
$100 or 100,000?
Well, 100 goes a long way, especially if the entire LTF family would get involved.
We could literally put. I tell you what,
we could come up with this entry fee.
I got an idea. So Van Dam,
y'all are essentially going to start like a GoFundMe so we can.
No.
Betsy just started a GoFundMe.
Jeff has part ownership in a wrap company. Okay.
Yeah.
Van Dam did his fans from Facebook one year and put all their faces on the wrap. What we could do is we get the whole LTF family together, including us, to all chip in. We wrap that 34-foot yellowfin with the LTF logo and everybody's face.
So you laugh. I did that
entire...
for Kenny Wallace's car one time in a race.
Yeah.
Perfect.
They had to go to Canada and race.
Perfect.
And the sponsorship didn't carry over across the border.
Yeah.
So he got his fans to sponsor the car, and we literally put everybody's face
or signature on there. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's doable.
Dude. Everybody throws in $100, and we're there before you know it.
So
maybe less than that.
Who would be in for putting an LTF team in the Big Rock?
We got to make sure our schedules will allow it first.
Mm-hmm.
For $1 million for second place?
Well, we still can't throw out a points tournament.
Yeah, we can't just kick out come on now. Don't kill us, Walsh.
Anyways, I can put the team together whether they fish or not. Promise you that.
Here's a question from Mike Harris. Was a 3-pound minimum an issue on the last day?
I didn't realize y'all had that.
Yeah, so the first 3 days at Tahoe, we had a 2-pound minimum like we've had all year. And then they upped the ante a little bit the last day where we had a 3-pound minimum. And to me, it didn't really affect me that much because most of the fish I was catching previous days were 3+s that were, scoreable fish. I caught very few small fish, in the 1.5 to 2.5 pound range. So to me, it didn't really affect me much at all. I mean, if I got 15 or 20 bites a day, I would say anywhere from 7 to 10 of them would be over 3 pounds. But I just wasn't generating a lot of those giant bites like some other guys were. A lot of guys were catching, 1 or 2 6 to 7 pluses every day, and then catching some 2.5 to 3 pounders to go with them. And I was just catching a lot of 3 to 5, 6 pound fish. So it really didn't affect me at all.
What's up, Clinton? He said he made it to the live feed.
I know. I put him up on the big screen.
I saw somebody earlier also ask, is this the feed that we respond to? Yes, 100% this is the feed that we respond to.
Technically, we're not cross-posting.
Okay.
Because we were having some technical difficulties. It wouldn't connect.
Okay.
So that's why we were about 3 minutes late coming on, and we're not cross-posted to anything.
Okay, didn't know that.
I don't think.
I'm glad you stopped me. You don't think? I'm glad you stopped me before I said what I normally say. But all right, so that's wrapping up the MLF event down at Lake Tahoe. Over to the Eufaula for the Elite Tournament. I've seen like 25 comments about my horn incident, and if you missed that, you can go to bassmaster.com.
I still haven't seen the video of that. I might have to go watch that.
And the videos, Zona, apparently it was on live, and Zona like replayed it like 6 times because that's what he likes to do.
You should. You should.
And I was basically just trying to. I had it on a spinning rod. It was in a brush pile. When I first set the hook, it was hung. And I had it. You know how you get them like in the corner of the mouth sometime, and it makes them feel way bigger than they are.
Oh yeah, they were big.
It was a 3.5 pounder, but it felt gigantic. So I was like, I felt like Ike out there for a minute. I was like, it's a giant. It's like I said it like 6 times on live, and then I felt like an idiot when I saw it.
It's a big one.
I said big one. I said it's a big one. I promise. I said it's a real big one because it kept getting heavier and heavier.
It's a big one.
And I was trying to keep it from jumping, and I played it down to the side of the boat, and I sat down in my driver's seat, and on a Ranger, we got those nice little touch pads over there on the right-hand side, and they're great, and they're always out of the way until you put your knee out there, and you have super long legs like a giraffe like I do, and my knee, I leaned over to get the fish, and my knee it turned on all kinds of stuff, first of all, but I hit the horn,
Live well.
I turned on the manual bilge pump, A1. I turned on A2. Live well was already running. And I hit the horn. And, dude, it like, I thought, yeah, dude, I jumped back. I was getting ready to get the fish, and I jumped back about 1.5 feet into my seat. And I didn't know what happened. I didn't know if I was getting ready to get run over, get eaten by a Lake Eufaula alligator, or what was getting ready to happen. So, yes, that scared me to death. My cameraman, EK, was rock solid, dude, because when I watched the video back, the camera, and dude, the Ranger horn's loud.
Oh, it's
like
very
they are loud.
It's very loud.
And his camera never moved. Now, I don't know if he's got one of those stability things or whatever, but it never moved. He never flinched. And anyway, Zona and Tommy and them were telling EK how solid he was, and apparently how scared that I was. So that's the whole deal. If anybody's wondering what the horn comment's about, we landed the fish. It was about a 3.5 pounder. We weighed it in that day, so that was good. Something very ironic that happened during that tournament, and I'll get into talking about the conditions. Thrift kind of knows, probably one of the best there is at fishing Eufaula this time of year and kind of what goes down. I don't know if you've been here this late, but you've been here quite a bit in May.
Fished it in June once.
One time.
Won it.
You won it in June.
Yeah.
Okay, so I couldn't remember if that tournament was in May or June. Yeah. Obviously, brush piles were a big player. Ledge schools were a big player. But what was happening during this tournament was the water. If anybody followed the Toyota Series the week before, which used to be the Costa Series ever starts, the water was at about 188 and some change.
Was there a mayfly hatch going on?
There was a mayfly hatch.
Oh, so y'all had a lot of good things happening.
It hatched twice. Yeah. There was at least 2 hatches, one during the Toyota Series and one the week we were there. But what collided with that when we were there is we were coming off of a full moon also. So you had some brim beds. A lot of guys were fishing brim beds that were out off the bank that you could find on your side imaging. I saw somebody ask earlier, how do you find brush piles on Eufaula? Turn your side imaging on and go.
Yeah,
that's all there is to it. You'll find plenty of them. There's plenty of them out there. Brim beds in the deeper water were a big deal. Guys were fishing those with a big worm, things like that, and catching some fish. But the water started rising. The first day of practice, I got on a brush pile bite and marked about 25 or 30 piles and caught like 17 pounds pretty quick. And then I shook a few fish off and just quit fishing them. Yeah. And I started running around marking a few more piles. And the second day of practice, I noticed the water started coming up. It already hit about 189, so it already come up about 6 inches since the Toyota Series ended. And I went shallow, started messing around a little bit, and picked up a frog, and the first thing I did when I picked that frog up is I took it and I trimmed one leg a little bit shorter than the other.
Of course you
I'm
did.
kidding. I'm kidding. But
I knew you was going to say that. I knew it.
in all seriousness,
knew
I had a good opportunity to have a big bag the second day of practice, caught a 6-pounder and shook a few off and thought the potential was there. I never thought the potential was there to win a 4-day tournament shallow, and it wasn't. I mean, it was still one deep, but there were some great big fish shallow, and there seemed like to be a few more fish with the bluegill and the mayfly deal going on and the water coming up, all coming together. A few more fish were moving up, and the thing about shallow fish this time of year on any lake, especially Eufaula, there's not great numbers of them, but there's some great big ones.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I weighed in a couple 6-pounders, lost a 6-pounder. There were several 6s weighed in from super, super shallow water. And when I say shallow, I'm talking about a foot of water.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the 6'2" I caught the last day was literally in about 10 inches of water. She was in a grass patch about the size of 2 beach balls. I couldn't see her. It was so thick.
Yeah.
And I just flipped my jig. I'd already flipped the dock beside it, and I flipped my jig in there in that grass patch, and I saw her shoot out with my jig.
Oh, my
And when
God.
she shot out of that with my jig, I about lost it. But anyway, my whole plan going into the tournament was to mix it up between shallow and deep. And it worked good the first couple days. I did feel like the shallow bite, I was going to have to get a little bit luckier to run into a couple 6s on day 3 and day 4.
Hog legs and bowed horns.
What's that?
T-shirt. Has anybody sent in T-shirt ideas from the
Yeah.
700 shows?
They're just commenting.
Golly.
Yeah. So we did a mix of things during the tournament. Caught some out of brush, caught some shallow, flipping a jig, throwing a frog, and used the Lunker Hunt compact frog some and a Spro popping frog. Also, the compact frog is just a regular pointed nose frog. The popping frog, the Spro popping frog, is an actual. We had some wind throughout the tournament here and there, so when I got a little disturbance on the water, I picked up the popping frog. Flipping that grass was something a lot of guys overlooked, and I was able to pick up some key fish doing that. Was flipping that shallow grass with a jig, just a half-ounce jig. It's a great jig lake.
And Eufaula is just such a good lake in general. Like,
It's ridiculous right now.
It's ridiculous how good Eufaula's fishing, and it's been that way for the last 3 or 4 years. So hopefully the people in Georgia and Alabama will take care of that lake, because I think it's definitely got the potential to be one of the best lakes in the country.
It
There's
is
no doubt about
crazy good. Somebody, Stephen Vaughn, he said, Matt, explain about LaHue dropping out of the top 10, allowing Gross to come in and win the tournament. What was the main factor in that? So let me explain what happened. So Shane LaHue, a good friend of both of ours,
Yeah,
great
I
fisherman.
talked to Shane after the third day, and he told me the story. So
And he had a great attitude about the whole situation. If you follow Shane LaHue fishing on Instagram and look at his posts, it's hilarious.
Yes.
He's got a little baby. He's got a little baby face, a little baby up there going, I can't even count or something. And then he puts in his post like 3 + 2 = 6.
Yeah.
So what happened was Shane basically he was catching them really, really good on day 2. Day 3, day 3, and had 25 pounds in the box, was catching a lot of fish, a lot of numbers off of one spot, and he simply forgot to cull. And I know people say, well, how in the world do you do that? I mean, it happens. I mean,
it can happen.
Yeah, we get in the heat of the moment, and it happens. But LaHue had 6 fish in a live well, so he had to take a 2-pound penalty. Well, that knocked his net weight was 25 and some change, knocked him down to 23 and some change, which ultimately knocked him out of the top 10 and put Buddy Gross, who was in 11th, into 10th
And speaking
place.
of which, I don't think we've congratulated Buddy on
We
this
haven't
win.
told Buddy congratulations.
Congratulations on
Yeah.
your first bass victory, Buddy Gross.
Yeah, and Buddy is a
That was epic. I mean, to come
really
in there and
good.
smash 27 pounds on the last day,
he's a phenomenal grass fisherman, a really good deep water fisherman.
very good deep water fish.
Buddy's just gets better
But he's
and better.
a very good, he's good shallow too. He's pretty well rounded.
No, he'll be one to watch this year.
Oh, yeah.
In the
What was
AOY
the
race.
spread between when Shane took the penalty? Wasn't it just a few ounces?
No, well, Shane took a 2-pound penalty, and I don't know where that ended up putting him. But
I think he finished 11th.
So was
No, he did, but I'm saying it was only like 2 or 3 ounces.
Yeah, it was still
that put
close. Like it was.
Buddy into 10th. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's a little bit.
Okay.
Still.
But it's just ironic how things happen. Buddy was moved in because of Shane's penalty, and Buddy ended up winning the tournament.
Yeah.
So
Which has happened quite a few times in the last 2 years from 10th.
Oh, it really has.
Yep.
But, speaking of Shane having too many in the live well, I've heard stories like that several times. And I've even heard stories of guys culling fish all day and getting to the weigh-in and only having four. Yeah, been culling 4 all day instead of 5. So, I mean,
yeah, that might be worse.
It's easy to do when you get caught up in the moment, but sometimes you got to sit down and just count them.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mike Langford said 4 ounces.
4 ounces.
After the penalty.
Yeah.
Good
So that
gracious.
and that's a 2-pound penalty. So Terry Crawford wanted to know if you could change one thing, what would it be in that tournament? Honestly, probably nothing. I mean, I didn't. The first day I had an opportunity to have a really, really, really big bag, and I've never. Don't get me wrong. I'm never disappointed to bring in 20 pounds just about anywhere you are, anywhere in the country at any time of year. But the first day I had some opportunities to weigh in a mega bag, and it just didn't work out. So execution wise, I lost a few key bites throughout the event, but decision making wise, I wouldn't change anything. I gambled a lot more on the last day, fished a lot of new water, caught that 6.2 that I had the last day in new water that I'd never seen before, and that was I kept rolling the dice, man, trying to stumble across a mega bag, because with the lead that Canterbury had going in the last day, the only way you were going to win, and the only thing any of us want to do when you make a final day is win.
Yeah.
The only way to do that was you were going to have to catch a Buddy Gross bag, and Buddy was able to do that. So it's not like Canterbury or any of us lost it. Buddy just flat won it. He caught an absolute giant mega bag and almost 28 pounds, and for June that's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's stout.
And I didn't. Tyler asked, why didn't I fish out deep more after you lost the lead and got less bites on the third day? On the third day I really didn't. I don't know what you saw on live, but I didn't get less bites. I was just kind of plagued with 3-pounders. I never got any 5 or 6 pound bites that day. That was the difference maker in having 15, 16, 17 pounds or having 20. And the third day, I ended up catching about 15 keepers, which is roughly what I was averaging most every day. And I just never caught any great big ones. And I mixed it up. Several of the fish I weighed in on day 3 were out of deep brush, and the shallow bite was real hit and miss. Like I said, I had to keep bouncing around covering water, and you never knew when you were going to pull into a pocket that had the right ingredients and run into a 5 or 6 pounder. So I kept plugging away, trying to hope to run into a few more big bites.
And that's never a bad plan on Eufaula.
Yeah, I mean, Eufaula,
you can catch them everywhere.
And when you go to Eufaula, and Brian can attest to this, any bass fisherman, you ride around that lake, cross the bridges, and the first thing that comes to your mind is, I need to go over there and fish shallow.
Yeah.
Because it is one of the prettiest shallow water fisheries you'll ever go to. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got lily pads, docks, willow grass, hyacinth mats. It's got gator grass. It's got everything. And obviously the deep bite is great, but there's always some shallow fish to be caught there. We were originally supposed to be there 1st of April.
Yeah.
And, that would have been a really interesting tournament because y'all fished there earlier this year, and it was really high.
Yes.
Really dirty.
High. Came up like 3 feet during the tournament.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we would have been there 1st of April, it still would have been up and dirty then, wasn't it?
I don't know. I hadn't kept tabs on after we left, but I'd say it's still been up a little bit, yes.
Okay. Let's see. I'm glad everybody got to follow along some of the coverage on ESPN2. I heard it was good. And I'm like you, Jerry. I hope it brings more exposure just to our sport as a whole. Anytime any of us can get on the big screen in front of that many eyeballs, I think it's good for the fishing industry. Period. I saw a comment earlier that one of our viewers was watching ESPN2 live over here and then MLF live on the other screen, and the more exposure we all get, the better off we all are in the long run.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Todd Goad was asking about the Lowrance map shading feature, and said he uses that all the time. That's one of the coolest things about the sea mapping is, and I did an article, and I posted it to my Facebook page today. There's a link on there about the shading on the Lowrance sea map chip, and it's very cool because when you get to a lake and you start dialing in a deep bite, especially, or a shallow bar bite like on Kentucky Lake, and you're looking for bars in, let's just say 6 to 8 foot of water or 6 to 10 foot of water, you can use that shading feature, and I'll do a video about this and I'll actually throw it into our LTF Academy to show people exactly how to do it. But it allows you to color coordinate different depth zones, whether they're 2 or 4 feet apart, and you can use multiple color palettes to where they stand out. So when you're trying to trying to actually zero in on a certain depth zone, whether you're looking for brush or looking for fish off of points or looking for docks in a certain depth of water, it really helps you narrow down water quicker. So that color shading feature is very cool, and we'll do a video about that too.
One little tip when you're using the color shading on whatever graph you have is make sure you check the lake level, and if the lake level is down or up, you can go in there and set the minimums to the level the lake's at, so it'll actually highlight the exact depth you're in, where it's not highlighting, say, a 10-foot depth and you're actually sitting in 12 or 8. So make sure you offset, check your lake levels when you do your shading to make sure you get it at the actual right level.
So there's a question here about the new chatterbait with the big blade.
Yes.
When will that be out?
That is.
I gotta hit. Y'all have to excuse me. I gotta hit the restroom real quick.
All right, help yourself, man. Me and Jeff's got.
We got this.
If I get up and don't say where I'm going, everybody.
Yeah, you don't have to announce it. You're a big boy. I guess you. Does he have to ask permission, Jeff?
Maybe.
Okay. All right. So Shane, the new chatterbait is supposed to be released next year at the Classic, is what we've talked about. So that's the time frame we're shooting for, and that's the chatterbait I was throwing earlier this year at Eufaula, and hopefully it's going to be ready by then. I actually talked to them last week, and we're getting the final head designs and getting some things worked up to make sure everything's exactly like we want it. So y'all, we got a few more minutes before we go with the giveaway, so hit us with some more questions if you got any. I seen one question from Wendell about why I got my first penalty on day 4 on the championship round of the Lake Tahoe event. So we've got a rule that obviously a fish care penalty, which is 2 minutes if the fish touches any part of your body or the carpet or anything like that. So the only thing that can touch that fish essentially is your hand. And the first bass I caught on the championship day was hooked fairly deeply, and so I leaned it against my leg to just get a little leverage to be able to get it unhooked, and I was called out for a fish care violation. But we also have
Was that your first penalty?
No, I got 4 that day.
Oh, okay.
4 penalties?
I sat in timeout more on the championship round.
Give us a rundown of the penalties. Like, what for?
Yeah, all right. One was obviously I just explained. So I leaned the fish against my leg to unhook it, which would have been legal to lay the fish on the carpet had I asked my official if I could use the carpet to assist with hook removal because it was hooked deep. But I forgot about that, and I was thinking I could lean it against my leg, bad habit. So got a penalty for that. Then I got 3 penalties for boat flipping fish and them coming off and landing in the deck or trying to grab the line and the fish comes off and touches the carpet or something like that. So, I mean, they were all my own fault, but that's part of it. I mean, we got them in the boat. The fish were fine, released fine. But I did sit in the penalty box for 8 minutes on
I didn't
the championship round.
Did you get any penalties on the first MLF event you fished?
No, I didn't get any penalties.
Yeah, I thought you didn't get any.
You're just making up.
Yeah, I guess just making them up
in one round.
But yeah, in one day I got 4 penalties. But that's why that first one was a violation, just because I leaned it against my leg to unhook it. So there you go.
Matt Newman, thanks for that reminder. Mark Menendez had to withdraw from the elite tournament because of some bad back issues, and keep him in your prayers too, because Mark, I think I'm not sure, don't hold me to this, but he might be withdrawing for the year, taking a medical leave, getting a medical exemption. He had some pretty major back issues going on down there at Eufaula, so he actually practiced and tried to go out, I believe, the first day of the event, and then had to withdraw after that. All right. I'm still seeing blow the horn comments.
Matt Waldron asked what was the weight I was using it on the worm at Tahoe. I was throwing a 1/4 ounce, Matt.
1/4 ounce.
1/4 ounce.
And let's see. What do you? how are you enjoying the different? Are you looking forward? Okay, so Chris Griffith had a question about comparing, not comparing, but how do you like the MLF format? And then are you looking forward to fishing some of the FLW 5 bass limit tournaments? I can answer that because I know Brian just likes catching fish. It really doesn't matter to him.
That's me. I don't matter. It doesn't matter to me, what format I'm fishing. I want to fish for a living. That's my dream job and pretty much the only thing I'm good at. So I'm going to fish wherever they'll let me. So that's what I'm going with. I do like the format. I mean, there were some things about it. I know I talked about this after the first event we fished at Eufaula back in February. There were some things I were kind of scared that I wouldn't like the 15-minute breaks and stuff like that. But it makes the day go by more relaxed. You're not as stressed because I can fish the first period, and if I'm having a bad period or something, I hadn't caught any fish, on our 15-minute break, I can call my wife, see how the boys are doing.
Kind of like a reset button.
Yeah, it's kind of like a mental reset button. You get refreshed, and then when your 15-minute break's up, you can go back at it with a fresh outlook and things like that. So it's very nice. I do like the format a lot, and it suits me. I mean, I think I fell right into it. I really like it.
You'll do good in any format.
You think?
Yeah, I think. I saw a couple questions about what happened to Kelly J. He also withdrew from the event. I don't know the whole story. Kelly withdrew for personal reasons, guys. I can't answer that. So, but prayers for Kelly and what he's going through also. But he did withdraw also for personal reasons.
Let's see. I did see a question I wanted to address.
They want to know if you got any new rods coming, new signature rods coming
for.
out soon.
Yeah, Justin Johnson. Actually, we are working on 3 new additions to my signature series lineup with Fitzgerald rods. We're going to have a micro jig rod and 2 spinning rods that are going to add to the 9 rods I already have in my signature series. So that's going to be exciting, and they should be here. I'm thinking mid to late fall, sometime like that. So look for them around then.
All right, guys, we got time for about 5 more questions. If you got I know there's some stuff back in the feed that I can't track down, but if you got any more questions or you asked one earlier that wasn't answered, resubmit that question right now so we can jump on it.
I got one thing I'll address while y'all are answering the question because it's. So I'll talk about it while we're just after you ask the question. For the giveaway.
That'll be later. We got 6 more minutes.
Oh, we do. All right. So, CJO's asked, "Where's that rubber ring at, Thrift?" And if you watched any of the, I don't remember if it was Championship Day or the 3rd day. This happens to me once a year. I wear a silicone wedding band. I don't wear my real wedding band when I'm fishing because I don't want to lose it. So I wear a silicone wedding band. And about once a year, just like the one Matt's got on, about once a year, I will catch a fish and I'll take my hands over the side and I will rinse them off in the lake like this to get the fish slime off, and wedding ring will spiral down to the bottom of the lake. So this happened on, I think, the 3rd day at Tahoe. Had the drone on me. They got great drone footage of me losing my ring and diving, trying to catch it. But needless to say, I didn't catch it. But I already have 2 more.
That's the whole reason I have a backup in my console in my truck. That's the greatest thing about having these.
Yes,
in the world.
That's what it's for. It's safer, and if you lose it, you get another one for I don't know, $10 or $15.
If that,
yeah, and everything's good to go. So I've already have new ones. They're at the house. Just came in the mail today, and we're good to go.
Perfect. Nick Shaver wanted to know what my frog setup was. And no, Nick, you didn't miss it. We didn't talk about it, but it is it's a Lew's Custom Pro 7'4" heavy action rod with a Lew's Hypermag reel. It's 8-to-1 gear ratio, and I use 50-pound P-line TCB braid. That rod setup to me, I think Thrift is similar to the lengthwise. 7.374 is just a good length for a frog rod to me because it's easy to handle and it can still get the job done. It's heavy enough, and it's got plenty of oomph, if you know what I mean. Like when you lay, you can really hammer them with the rod, with that rod, and you don't have to worry about hooking them. So, but 50-pound braid is usually my go-to on my size of the braid that I use frogging. You use 50 most of the time?
Yeah, I throw the 50-pound P-line TCBX braid, and like Matt said, something in that 7.2 to 7.4 range is what I use also.
The Neil Paul, hey, what's up, Neil? He said, Ryan Sauer said that wedding band can double as an O-ring for a wacky rig tool. Mine's a little big. I don't know if Brian's
6-inch stinger. It would fit that perfect. 6-inch stinger.
Maybe some of those new big 10, 11, 12-inch worms that we're using. But he said, how did you like the format of the tournament with the safety precautions that Bass took last week that you followed? You know, all the organizations, including Bass and MLF, are taking every precaution necessary in order for us to just be able to be out there and continue to fish.
Yes.
And we can't thank them enough.
No, they're doing a great job keeping everybody happy. I mean, I think that's kind of what it's all about. Make sure you're lessening the risks, and I think both of them did a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. That's I had a couple people ask me, you know, why'd you have your mask pulled up like you were going to rob somebody when you were on stage? Well, that's due to the COVID-19 restrictions and the precautions that these organizations are taking to keep everybody safe. So y'all keep that in mind moving forward, because we will probably have those in place at every event from here to the end of the year.
And that's what makes everything unique about our sport, and actually being able to still compete during the situation we're in with everybody worried about that, is because you only have 2 people in the boat, and people are running 20-foot boats, so you're more than 6 feet apart. And actually, MLF took it a step farther as to keeping the same official with the same guy every day, so you're not around more people. And I feel like both organizations probably did a great job with that. I mean, just to lessen the risk of, if there actually is a risk, I'm still not.
Thanks, Chris
I'm
James.
not gonna talk about that.
But yeah, we're not talking about COVID.
Probably don't want to get me started.
Chris James, thanks for the kind words. Brian Clary said, would either of you jump in the water to get a fish like Rose did? I promise you I would jump in
For
if I thought it was worth
$100,000?
$100K.
Yeah. I'd jump in there. I'd come out like an otter with the fish in my mouth if I had to for $100,000.
Y'all remember that?
Well,
Yeah, I'm telling you.
yeah. Next time, Thrift, if you ever go in the water for a fish, I want you to come out with it in your mouth. David Stepp said you could tattoo your ring on. I got a buddy that did that, actually. And
I've seen people with that.
That's that seems like it hurt.
I don't like needles.
Love hurts, Matt. Love hurts.
You've been waiting for that one, haven't you, Walsh? Hear ya.
Isn't that a song?
Yeah, love hurts. Let's see. Smoke. Justin Johnson said you had the best interview with your mask on after day one.
Yeah, I covered my whole face, everything.
Eyeballs too.
Yep, from here.
He
to
wasn't even standing.
You should have cut holes out just for your eyeballs.
He was
Or for
standing
your
backwards.
nose.
They didn't even know it.
That's funny. All right, so we got a giveaway question here in just a minute. I did see I tell you what. I'll save us since we're about out of time. Somebody asked earlier, tell us about Evinrude ? I'll be on BTL. I'll be on Bass Talk Live tomorrow, and I know that's one of the topics that he wanted to talk about. So we'll talk about Evinrude if you tune in to Bass Talk Live. Those are some good guys with a great podcast. So you can get in over there, and we'll talk about the Evinrude situation, or at least what at least the little that I know. So. Let's move on to our trivia question. I don't have to go through the whole spiel about if you're not on this feed, your answer doesn't count.
I don't think so. We should be all on
okay,
this
cool.
feed.
Perfect. Trivia giveaway.
What is the answer, Matt? I don't even know the question.
It's 2 answers. I'll go ahead and tell y'all it's 2 answers.
What
It's
does
a
that
two-
say?
one
Don't say
question,
it. Don't
2
say
answers.
it. Rewrite
Okay,
it.
thanks, Jeff.
I'm just saying.
Can you read that?
Got it.
All right. That's 1 answer. That's 2 answers. They
I
got to
already
have.
know the question based
Let me
on
circle.
the
They
answers.
got to have both of them.
I know the question based on the answers.
You know the question based on the answers. All right. So this trivia giveaway, guys, thanks for everybody for tuning in tonight, is for
Yeah, thank you.
a Angler's Choice hat and shirt, along with a care package from Shiner Stash Beef Jerky, who has a couple new products that Mr. Swin is going to send out to y'all.
And I've tried a bunch of his products, and I've liked them all.
Yeah,
I haven't tried some of the super hot ones.
dude, I'm telling you, these
Yeah.
these
Jeff's
little
not going to try super hot.
No,
These
I'm not,
little
I
pickled
don't eat
sausages,
super hot, but
they're called
yeah,
Swinny's Nubs.
I'll
They're
eat
awesome,
a jar
dude.
full of nubs.
You'll eat a jar full of
Yeah.
nubs.
But no hot stuff.
Swin, Mr.
Fat
Swin.
Cat Newton, 1987.
Yeah.
Question over.
All right, let's see. Matt at BTL is out, so Thrift should co-host with Mark and ask Arey questions.
Oh, that would be
I don't
good.
want Thrift ever asking me
Oh,
questions.
yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be fun,
It
but
would
there ain't
be
no
fun.
telling what he's going to ask me. He tried to get me in trouble best he could, I'm sure. All right, so here we go. Trivia question time. It's 2 answers. All right, guys. I need 2 answers in one response. Don't just keep them together. Okay.
Ryan second.
One
Matt
response.
seventh.
Bacon candy. There you go. David knows what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's good
The
stuff.
bacon candy's good stuff. All right, here we go. Trivia question time. I keep procrastinating. I keep delaying. I keep chasing rabbits. I need to know 2 answers now. Well, I already know, but I need
We need y'all to tell us.
I need y'all to
Oh
submit
my gosh.
Brian's largest bass in pounds and ounces that he weighed in during the Tahoe MLF event, and my largest bag that I weighed in over 4 days at the the BAS, what I fish? The
Lake
Bass
Eufaula.
Elite Lake Eufaula event. So I need Brian's largest bass and my largest 5-fish limit,
And this is both in pounds and ounces.
both in pounds and ounces, and I need it together. Don't make us search and try to add stuff up because we don't do that. And Brian
So
Clary said,
2 answers, 1 post, 1 weight, another weight.
"What? That's right. Get it." Like Wendell Leonard said, 6'11", 6'5".
That's
Now that's
The
messed
correct
up, Wendell.
format.
That's the correct format, but that's like saying I caught a 6.5 pound bag. Not my Jay Park. There we go. Jay Park said 6'9", 22.3. That's the kind of answer we're looking for. That's not correct, Jay, but that's the right format.
very good. Very good.
Very good. So we got it, and I think we'll get this one pretty quickly. There
You would
again,
think.
it's worth a.
I don't know. It may be hard for them to find out how big my biggest one was.
Well, and I don't think I look back because I don't know that our individual daily bags are broken down. Our total weights are just listed, and your daily
So
big
maybe
bass.
this is not gonna
Yeah,
be
it might not
easy.
be as easy
This
as we
may
thought.
not be easy.
But there's already a ton of answers that are really close.
I see a correct answer right now.
You do?
We'll call it.
Zach Talent.
Zach Talent is the winner. Zach
That was
Talent.
quick. That was a lot quicker. Than
I didn't
thought.
even see it.
Mine
Hey,
didn't come up on mine, but that's good.
I found the winner.
Zach,
Right here.
I hadn't even seen Zach's comment yet, but it's up on Brian's feed.
Matt saw it.
I witnessed it. Zach Talent, you are the winner. Zach, you send us a message on Facebook with your shipping information and what size shirt you wear, and we will get that hat and shirt from Angler's Choice sent out to you.
And
We'll send your information over to Swin and get you a little care package from Shiner Stash Beef Jerky sent out. Some
Zach
Swinny's nibs.
answered with the correct answer, which was 6'11" for my biggest fish for the week at Tahoe, and Matt had a big bag of 22.15.
22.15 and 6'11". That is the correct answer. And what? I'm sorry, who won again?
Zach Talent.
Zach Talent.
Talent.
All right.
Zach Talent.
I'm gonna write
Jeff,
that
you
down.
got that?
So when we get a message from Zach, we know he was the winner of the trivia question. But congratulations to Zach. All right. So next week,
I will be gone.
that's right. You'll be at Chick.
I'll be at
You're
Chick.
leaving too, aren't you?
No, I'll be here. I'll be here for a couple weeks. We don't leave again until, and I saw a question earlier about that, about how do you feel about 3 tournaments back to back to back in New York?
Oh, y'all are 3 back to back to back.
3 in a row.
Ooh,
And now we don't leave.
marathon.
We don't leave until after the 4th. We leave about July 8th, July 9th. Now you're back. You're gone next week, but are you back the week after that?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. So if we do miss next week, we plan to be back in the week after that. So 2 weeks from today will be our next show.
Why are you looking at me?
Unofficially, because I'm verifying that you're
We
going
got
to
to
be
make
here
sure
by
Jeff's
making eye
going to be here.
contact.
I don't.
Because if you're not here, we don't. It doesn't happen.
I don't know what I'm doing in 2 weeks, but it's a good chance I'll be here.
Definitely no show next week. Possibly the week after.
I might throw in a guest next
We
week.
might can scrounge something up for next
There
week.
you go.
Clinton Manning just sent us a message. Says, "Hey, I won the giveaway tonight." Apparently, he said that because I forgot who won the giveaway. Good try, Clinton.
That's funny.
But your name is not Zach Talent. I got it written down right here on my paper.
Yeah,
look,
Zach said the big fish was a total guess.
Yeah,
It
perfect.
was a good guess.
It was a good
dang
guess.
good guess.
A very good guess.
So congratulations to Zach. And I'll try to get a guess and get in here next Tuesday. If I can't, guys, we'll be
Fat
back the week
Cat
after
Newton.
that. Huh?
We need to get Fat Cat in here.
We need to
No,
get Fat
no,
Cat up.
because I want to be here if he's a guest, because that'll be fun for me as well.
All right.
That's true. That's
Sorry,
true.
Fat Cat. You got to wait.
Nobody wants to miss Fat
Did
Cat.
we ever figure out if we could do like the Skype thing, or
Yeah, we can do that.
so like I could be out at wherever and
What are you doing next Tuesday at 7 o'clock? You'll be off the water.
possibly.
Do y'all have to be off the water by a certain? Well, no, it's not even dark. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's close to dark at
Yeah,
7
it-
o'clock.
We can
It's
probably
possible
figure
I
it
can
out.
be on.
We might could get a guest and Skype Mr. Thrift in.
Ooh,
That'd be cool. And we won't
you know
take
what
it.
would be cool?
We'll take up about 20 minutes of your time.
Hear
or
me out.
something. Hear me out.
So, what if we do the Skype thing?
I can't see. Put your cup down. All right.
I'm still on the water practicing on Tuesday.
Yep.
Wait, no, the tournament starts Thursday. Or when? Wait, no. Nah.
We're trying to
Never
hear
mind.
you out, but we can't.
Yeah, I'll be off the water.
Yeah, I'm
I was
totally
thinking.
confused now. So
Yeah, well, we practice Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we'll have to be off the water a little bit early Tuesday, I imagine, because the event will start Wednesday. I was thinking
you can
back
do it on
to
the water fishing.
yeah, and like we could maybe do like an electronics class or something if I'm still on the water live via Skype on the show.
That's what I need to do. I need to call Duncan if we can't
But,
get Thrift on. Call
I
Duncan.
won't be on the water, so
At all Tuesday?
yeah, I will, but
Okay.
I won't be on the water during show hours of 7
Gotcha.
p.m.
Well, we'll figure something out or try to figure something out.
It's about
For,
time for Wheeler to mosey on back down here. It's been a good year.
Wheeler will be fishing chick with me.
Well, I'm not talking
Yeah.
about next week, but
Yeah.
I'm just thinking for the future.
If Wheeler, never mind, we won't even go there. Oh, by the way, we've been trying to have another Mr. Wilson feeding for y'all. The reason we haven't
I had
is
one today.
well, yeah, the pet store changed their hours on us, so they're closing at 4 o'clock now. And when we get those fish, they don't last until 7. So what we'll do is next time we do a feeding, we might just like video it and throw up a clip on our Facebook page. How
I
about that?
tried to do it today. They were totally out of feeders today.
Yeah,
So I had to
we know.
I had to ad lib.
So Jeff, what you want to tell that real quick?
No.
We had to find an alternate source to feed Mr. Wilson today. It wasn't a mouse like we did
I don't
one
want to.
time
I'm not doing that again.
before.
She asked. She's like, "You want a mouse?" I was like, "Absolutely not."
Why not?
I said, I can't do it.
David Stepp said Skype violation, 4-minute penalty.
Oh yeah, that's what it'd be too, Dave.
All right, guys, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and everybody wish Smoke luck. He leaves Friday because
Leaving
practice
out
starts
Friday.
Saturday, right? Yeah, practice starts Saturday.
Yeah, Mike said the tournament starts on Tuesday. Man, I got to relook my schedule. Mike.
That'll be great because you'll be well off the water at 7 o'clock, and we can do a day one recap.
Yeah, the tournament does start on Tuesday. We start practice Saturday.
So y'all don't have an off
Oh,
day?
yeah.
You don't have an off day?
No,
Okay, Saturday,
So
Sunday,
we
Monday
can,
practice.
We can Skype. It just won't be on the water.
Potentially. I mean, yeah, we can figure
If
something out.
Jeff can figure it out.
It definitely can happen. I just don't know if it'll be with this software. But yes,
Yeah.
we can figure something out. If you don't,
Yeah. We'll do something.
don't let me forget.
We'll do
Okay,
something.
cool.
Possible.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. And when we can't go fishing, what we going to do, Brian?
Talk fish.
We'll talk fish. See y'all
That's
next
what we
time.
Later.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Fish. Visit our private Facebook group to continue the conversation, post your questions, and talk with other fellow anglers at facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Fish. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Fish Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Join us again next episode for more actionable tips, tactics, and techniques directly from the pros. And remember, when we can't go fishing, we're going to sit right here and talk fish.